Welcome to All Vehicles Great and Small. I'm your host, Tammy Walker, and we're at the Central Washington Museum, and we're going to explore this white 3000 series. Model number 3026, this is one of the models from the white 3000 series. Specifically, this is a jet refueler, and I believe this is one of the last survivors built in 1965. Originally, this was at our Yakima Airport, then to the McAllister Museum, and now we have it. The 3000 series began in 1949, and it was supposed to end sometime in the mid-1960s. I didn't find any vehicles after 1965. When they launched the white 3000 series in 1949, thousands of people showed up to this event. And it was like it was a circus. It was almost a parade. It was a trials test. It was a magic show. And at one point, they said they're going to go ahead and try to tip this vehicle. So they had a ramp, and they would drive on two wheels, and they'd go as fast as they can and almost jump over it. And they did this, and they raised the ramp up to about, maybe about 4 feet, maybe 4.5 feet. And finally, the truck hits that ramp, and it finally tips and crashes, and the audience just loved it. It was ecstatic. And then they tried to jump. They started jumping the trucks. And so that was no problem until one of them, they stopped there when it landed it's almost on its face, but really on its front bumper. And you could see the door just break right open. And the audience loved that. Then they crashed it through a wall. I couldn't quite tell from the video, but it looked like a wall of hay or maybe something a little bit more. But it did do some damage to the front of that. You can see that video yourself at Ray Grima Old School Trucking. And the video is called 1949 White 3000 Series Truck Product Launch. Check it out. We've got a split rim here, and it's got 10 lug nuts. It's a 20-inch rim. I'm really not sure on the size of the tire. Split rims were outlawed after 1968. Any force or disagreement to the tire or rim components would attribute it to a rapid and explosive separation of the wheel components, causing serious injuries and fatalities. Pull this, and this opens up here. This engine is a white Mustang Flathead 6, and that's pretty much all the information I could find on this. I don't know what type of transmission. I couldn't confirm on the cubic inches of displacement in the engine, but I could tell you that the advertisements boast that it has a differential, it has dual tired, and its steering axle. I mean, it wants to brag about that, but it also has a tighter turn, better vision, and easy access for mechanics because the cab could be removed in 20 seconds. Here's the mini history of the White Motor Company. A man named Thomas White started a sewing machine company. They were building sewing machines, and as his life went on and his children grew up, Walter, Roland, and Windsor, his sons, began the first white automotive department in the corner of that sewing machine factory. And by 1899, their very first product was a steam-powered automobile. Shortly after, the White brothers switched to gasoline, and they started making trucks, buses, tractors, bicycles, and roller skates. And they also became one of the top defense contractors for the United States government and ended car production after World War I to focus on their trucks. White Motor Company eventually became one of the top producers for all commercial vehicles. Everybody had it. Coca-Cola, moving companies, the dairies, they all had one of these White 3000 series. The company did well in the 50s, and they started acquiring Sterling in 1951, Autocar in 1953, REO in 57, and Diamond T in 58. Diamond T and REO joined to be Diamond REO, which was discontinued in the 1970s. White Motor Company didn't make it past 1980. The U.S. assets were acquired by Volvo, and then they became the Northeast Ohio Axle. What kind of clutch is this here? It's got an extra, it's like, is this a clutch to keep the clutch pushed down all the time?
Clutch lock.
We've got a clutch lock. So you push this down and you push the lock down and hold your clutch down. I'm gonna guess this is the emergency brake. I'm gonna guess this has to do with the brakes here. Panel lights. I don't know what this one's for. And this is just regular lights here. And there's another button here. I don't know what that's for. We're at the steering wheel. We've got our blinker. I don't think that moves. We've got our oil, our fuel, our amps, our temp, all here. We got our air pressure. This one is our RPMs, and then our speedometer. And then here's for our windshield wipers. Activate those. And I'm going to try to read these here. Marker lights. Okay, we got our marker lights, our meter lights, off, on switch. Oh, here's our choke, our throttle, our floodlights. I don't know what this is. This is equipped with air brakes, so that's the emergency stop button. And leave a comment if you know otherwise. I bet this Texaco fire extinguisher I find goes right there. This here lets me know that the gas tank that they put on this truck was added in 1965. This was the first clue to let me know what year this was made. This was placed in service in 1965. Could this be a 66? Here you can use this to adjust your seat, but it's definitely stuck. Shut this up. Take a look over here. And we've got the gas tank section of this. And here's all of our levers in here. We've got our fuel valve, high-low speed. You know, they've got a little bit of everything up in here. This is pretty cool. Let's read what this says. Brody Manufacturing Company, operating instructions. Rockwell, to reset, move lever or on right up or right down until all figures return to zero. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right, that's cool. Look at this old hose. Crazy. Not a give to it. Whoa. What do you think this is for specifically?
Oxyacetylene?
Oxyacetylene?
That would be my guess.
Okay, I don't know where. Maybe we'll find more components as we go. When I came out here, I found this fire extinguisher on the ground, so I just put it back in here. Maybe I'll clip that up in a minute, put that back. We've got another example of a split rim. Look at all the lug nuts on this baby. Got the white stamp. Got our fuel pump here, I'm gonna guess. Gas tank, they've got some on and off valves here for where they want to divert this to. Wow, this is pretty strong back here. That's pretty much where they would fill the gas up. Go down there. Looks like the top of the cab has been dented pretty bad. That means someone came up here and jumped on it. All right, we got more components to our fueler. We've got a light here. They can swivel this around and see what they need. Get some water out of there. Emergency engine shutdown. More acetylene lines and cords going down. Hoses. Looks like a new meter here. This is actually really nice and clean. Inlet, outlet. We come over here. We've got something that doesn't belong. We got little certifications. Let's see, Warner Lewis Company Fram. Oh, liquid separator filter. It talks about the flow rate, the working pressure. We got a serial number, the hydro test, model number, replace cartridges, one different press. Reaches? I think that says. And then another one of these counter tanks, or the little counter. It tells you how many gallons you're putting out. Gallons and the tenths of the gallon. And this is by Brody Meters. Yeah, if you want to holler out any components here, please leave them in the comments down below. That would be great. Okay, we got more hoses. What's this here? This must have been another. What's the other one over here for? Oh, okay. This is super heavy and stiff. Gonna look at the other one real quick. I'm so close. I'm not gonna be able to get it. I think I need like 5 really strong Arnold Schwarzeneggers. Okay, come down and we'll take a look at this side of our fuel tanker. All right, there's something in here. I just can't get to it. All right, well, you can look here, you can see the old Texaco, Texaco, putting in. Another place for a fire extinguisher. And here on the other side, we've just got some more pipes going into different places, and you know, they definitely have this designed for a specific reason.
The 4-gang belt pulley is for the PTO operated pumps.
Another fire extinguisher. This one goes over here. Let's take a walk. Look at this little fire extinguisher. Look at this one, property of Texaco. $1986. That's the date stamped on here. It's good till 86. And some more things that don't really belong in here. And we got our batteries down here.
Older vehicles use 6-volt batteries. You would need 2 or 4 of them wired in series to end up with 12 volts of power.
Now this is one of the first of its kind of cab overs, or COEs. This actually was the invention of the tilted cab.
This futuristic design had the motorizing tilting system for easy opening.
You can pull this whole cab forward. The engine sits back here behind the seats. And they designed this to give easier movement to get in and out of the vehicle. So you had less obstacles and much easier to get in. This old truck is just waiting for the right person to come along and restore it. If you have any information or any comments you would like to leave on this truck, we would appreciate it. We love to hear your stories. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have a good one. Hey, if you'd like to check out these vehicles yourself, come on down to the Central Washington Agriculture Museum. We have acres and acres of trailers, tractors, trucks, you name it. There's lots of stuff here to look at, and there's always an event going on. We're opening back up in April, so I expect to see you here then.
And check out our Old Steel Car Show, April 28th, 2024.